Hi friends, it's Polly Payne here from Horatio Printing, and I hope you're having a great day. Thank you so much for watching this video about our seasonal refresh, and I'm excited to just encourage you around our seasonal refresh workbook / workshop. So if you're watching this, you probably either have one of our planners or you just downloaded and printed out our free workbook. And I wanted to quickly encourage you and walk through that with you. Now below, all of this information will be available to you. It's all written out. So if you prefer to just read versus watch the video, you can do that. And each section of our seasonal refresh, there's actually a page on our website, a resource for you that dives deeper into each activity. So there's a video for the Refocus Cloud, for dream planning, for generosity planning, and heart check. So if you feel like you want a deeper dive into any of these, go check out those resources, and all of the links are below. So I just wanted to clear that up so you can go check that out. But in this video, I'm gonna quickly just breeze through the seasonal refresh so you can get started and start your journey of just refreshing your heart and your mind and your goal, and get a clear vision for the next season that you're stepping into, okay? So let's get started. So with every seasonal refresh, I recommend starting with a praise report, just a way to really turn your heart to gratitude and turn our affections towards God, because it's easier for us to think about the things that are going wrong in our situations, what went wrong last week, what went wrong today, what went wrong this year, last year. But whenever we turn our affections towards God and see the way that He is blessing us, I truly believe that there is so much strength in that, and that's really when you're going to be able to be creative and joyful. So I recommend starting with a praise report, and at the end of the month in our planner, every single month there's a praise report. So that's something that, you know, we can obviously do more than once a month, but we have that in here intentionally. So I'm going to ask that you start by doing a praise report. Put on some music, light a candle, get all of the distractions out of the way, and just write about what's going right. What can you thank God for? We all have something to thank God for. And here's a quick look at my personal planner. I love to fill up the praise reports once a month and just think about what went right this month. So once you've done that, you can hop over to the next page, which has our seasonal prayer for you. And this season that this video is for specifically is for spring. And our prayer around spring is that with spring, there is all this new stretching and new growth and new opportunities. Like spring represents new opportunities. But with new opportunities, with new responsibilities, there's a lot of painful stretching. And I feel like some of you guys watching this video right now, you might be going through a personal season of stretching, and it's painful, and there's these growing pains. And I want to encourage you and say that that's amazing. You should lean into the stretch. Lean into the way that God is calling you to move beyond your comfort zone, because it's there that you're being shaped and perfected by God to live out your purpose, because He has a big purpose for you. I truly believe He does. And we have to stretch into our new selves in order to fully walk out that purpose. So I just want to encourage you to be thankful in the ways you're being stretched. I know sometimes it's like, how can I be thankful? Everything's going wrong. This is completely out of my comfort zone. This is completely out of my wheelhouse. Like, I don't know how to do this. Someone else would be way better doing this. But God has put you on this unique path. So I just want to encourage you to be thankful for the ways you're being stretched, because it's growing you into who you're becoming. So that's all. I just wanted to share a quick message there in this video. But I encourage you to read the prayer and then write down a few things that you are believing for. Okay? So after you've done that, and I know there's not enough time right now for you to do it, you can pause the video if you want, or you can just go back later. So the next section is generosity planning. And generosity planning is really important because when I first started making the planner, The planner is very me, 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 me. What can I get? What are my dreams? What are my goals? What are my plans? And to be a faithful Christian, our entire calling is to follow Christ and be Christ followers. And Christ was such a servant. He was always focused on other people. And it turns out when you focus on other people, your issues get smaller and you get happier. So we wanted to put in generosity planning in the planner, and that is why we have it. And it repeats every season. So every 3 months you get a brand new generosity planning. And it just asks you a couple questions like, who am I encouraging and praying for this season? Who and what am I making more time for this season? And what am I budgeting for this season? So generosity isn't just about your wallet and what you're giving to the church or to a charity. While that's really, really important, we have to be generous with our time, with our words of encouragement. And sometimes if you're in a season where you're really lacking financial means to give, there's so many other ways that you can give that mean just as much. When Jesus said, you did for the least of these, you did this for me. So the way you can smile at someone, make their day, give them a word of encouragement, that is just as important as our financial giving. So after you've done that, we have our next section, which is the heart check. And I believe that the quality of our life is determined by the quality of the questions we ask ourselves. And that's why this planner has a lot of questions, and these are pretty deep. I definitely would recommend removing all distractions, being alone, and just diving into these questions. And the questions are, what do I need to let go of? Who do I need to forgive? And what fears are holding me back? And this is really derived by an amazing podcast by Christine Caine that I heard, and you can go find that podcast in the link below if you go over to the heart check page. And she talks about the toxins of the heart, and our heart is so important to God. He says, guard your heart, above all else, guard your heart, because everything you do flows from it. And he's also talking about our heart and mind, because back then our heart and our mind weren't really a division the way our culture divides them, thinking with our mind versus our heart. Back then they were kind of the same thing. And it's important because our heart is really our connector to the Holy Spirit. And if we have big blockers like bitterness and guilt and shame and fear and anger and unforgiveness, these can block our connection with the Holy Spirit. And we weren't meant to live away from God. We were meant to live close to Him. So these are questions to kind of help you start picking away at some of those blockers that might be blocking you in your walk. Because if we can get rid of some of these, we can truly step into our purposes. So, take some time to really think about those and what you need to let go of. Who do I need to forgive, and what fears are holding me back? And this repeats every 3 months as well, because we always have new things we're dealing with. So after that, the next section is the Refocus Cloud, which this is probably one of my favorites. It is the first exercise we ever created when I first built the first planner. And basically it allows you to create a web of everything you're juggling right now. So I'm going to show you mine because it's kind of easier to see it when it's really laid out. So here's an example, I'm going to try to hold it up a little bit closer, of a Refocus Cloud. And what you do is you bubble out your passions, your focuses, your obligations, and your distractions. And what's great about this, you just kind of see everything you're juggling right now. All the things you have to do, all the things you need to focus on, all the things you really love to do, your passions. What do you love to do? What makes your heart really happy? What things did you love to do as a child? And then you write down your distractions. And this is really key because once we can acknowledge our distractions, we can get power over them. And if we step into a season going, these are my distractions, I'm very clear about it. These are the things that make me really happy. We can start to delete the distractions and make more time for the things that make us really happy. And that's the purpose of the Refocus Cloud. And so that is that. And at the end of it, I would recommend crossing out some of those distractions that you want to try to eliminate or at least minimize this next season. And then lastly, in our seasonal refresh, is a section to refresh your goals, to really write down 4 things that you want to accomplish in the next 3 months. And there's a couple bullet beneath that to allow you to kind of start jotting down, like, all right, how am I going to do this? Like, what really is some steps I can take to start accomplishing that goal, to get it going. So that is the essence of the seasonal refresh. It just kind of touches on a couple different things, on Thanksgiving, on the condition of your heart, on your generosity, on what you're juggling and your distractions, and then lastly, your goals and plans. And I want to leave you with a last little bit of encouragement around the goals that you're choosing. I know sometimes it's easier to pick goals that we know we're going to accomplish, but I really want to encourage you to at least have one goal that is completely out of your own strength. So something that, you know, if I accomplish this, it was God's doing. You know, we don't want to just have dreams that we can do in our own strength. We want to have dreams that we have to lean on God, have to trust on Him to accomplish, okay? Because that's really how we're going to stretch our wings and stretch our faith out to God and live in the way that we're supposed to live with Him, which is leaning on Him and trusting Him as a child that just loves our Father. So I just want to encourage you to do that as you're goal casting and dream casting. And lastly, whenever you start to plan out your week, and you're like, all right, I'm going to start to plan out my week, you know, what do I have coming up this week? Flip back to your seasonal refresh section. Go back through those distractions. Go back through your generosity. Go back through the goals you have. If you're gonna, I do this about once a week. I set up my week and set up my intentions for the week. And it's good to go back and remember the things that make you happy. Remember the things you don't want to do. Remember the things you're working towards, just to kind of help you set up that week for success, okay? And that's everything I have for you. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions or anything, you can always comment below and I'll get back to you. I am filming in New York, so there are random noises that happen. So thanks for your patience and everything. I hope you have a great day, and I just want you to know that you are very loved, and I hope you have a great little seasonal refresh section. Do this with your girlfriends, do this at home alone, do it however you want, and have a beautiful day. You are loved. Bye, guys.